Hello there, this is Two Legs Better, and I want to talk about some psychology today. I want to tell you, explain to you what's important in raising a child. If you are pregnant or you're having a child, have you ever considered how you can raise a good child? You know, um, how to raise a good child, right? Now, what I'm telling you is based on psychological evidence and also based on my personal experience. So I hope it's helpful for you. And if you like it, if you stick to the end, this is my request. Please subscribe and please come back later because I'm going to talk more about things like that, psychological based explanations and things. So first, you want to know, okay, so I'm going to raise a child. How do I know I was successful? How did I raise a good child, right? Well, there are certain things, a lot of things in life about a person. It depends on what you're really looking for, but there are some things that are fundamental, right? You want your child to be happy. You want them to be content with their life and to be satisfied and to have happiness. So, and also you want them to be socially well, maybe not successful, maybe that's not a good word, but at least you want them to have friends, right? They know how to have friends, how to maintain friendship, and so they have someone in their lives, and they have a good family and things like that. So that's the social aspect, so how they interact with people. And of course you also want the cognitive ability. That's like how smart they are, how intelligent they are. So these are the three main parts. um, the behavioral and social part actually is related to a lot to behavior, to later behavior, like unhealthy, like eating disorder or other unhealthy behavior, vaping, all kinds of things, drug addiction, all those things, and even emotional problems like depression or other things. So all of those, you want to avoid the bad stuff, you want to keep the good stuff. But here's the thing though, how can you what can you do in their early stage, like say year one, year two, year three, in their early stage to prepare them when they grow up? How can we know? This is just a newborn is a little thing, just open the eyes and doesn't even smile at you, doesn't even talk. How can we know what they are looking for? The good news is that's a key question psychologists have been trying to answer for like over a century. A lot of evidence accumulated, and there are some things we do know. And this is the number one key thing I want to preach to you, I guess, is predictability. Predictability. Oh, my handwriting is terrible. So, what does it really mean? It means that you want the child's life to be predictable. Like when they are hungry, they are fed. When they poop, somebody clean it up for them. And when they are bored, they see their parents, they see familiar faces, and they can play with. And when they are tired, they can go to sleep. So all these things are predictable. If you have a predictable environment, and that will be really, really helpful, because you think about an infant's brain is a rather pristine kind of a artificial intelligence, if you will. But the difference is that it's organic. You cannot just program it. You have to put in something. That's the stimuli, and that's the environment. It's a machine actively trying to interpret the environment. If the environment is predictable, and then they build an internal harmonious situation with the external environment, and that's really helpful. You think about, say, you are a father. If the infant sees the father and mother's face every day, and that becomes the stability of their lives, and then their minds doesn't really wonder what's happening. Let's say the father just absent for a while and then suddenly come back and then just go away again. That's unpredictable to an infant. The infant is like, who is this man? Who is this guy? Is he good? Is he bad? he's not there. When I want to see him, when I expect him, he's not there. So that's one aspect of predictability. And other ones are like sleeping time. It's nowadays, especially with devices, children don't want to go to sleep. Well, if you establish a routine, and there are lots of advices on when to put a child to bed. And in my experience is you negotiate with the child. You basically say, it's 8:30 now. You got to go to bed, and my son didn't want to go to sleep that early sometimes, and we just take him out for a drive, for a ride, and in the car, he often goes to sleep. So, but it's important within a certain range of time, say before 9, when he was very little, we try to make sure he goes to sleep, and that when you establish that routine, it helps a lot, and cognitively, emotionally, and socially, it all helps. Now, and there are other things of course, the people in their lives, and the way you interpret it, the way you react to them, and you eat together, and you have weekly rituals and have fun together. For example, when my son was very little, we try to read books to him every day, every night before he goes to sleep, and that established a routine. So when it's late, he say, "Oh, let's read a story," and he knows it's reading time, and then there's a bedtime. So these routines, these predictable things, give the child a strong sense of stability and trust in the environment. Okay. Now here's the thing though. You might say, yeah, sure, that's kind of boring life. Okay, even if I want to sacrifice that for my child, sacrifice my exciting life, I got to be there for him all the time, or her, all the time, and but I can't control everything in my life, and sometimes we have to move, sometimes our job changes, sometimes our life changes. So what if I can't predict, I can't provide the predictability for my child? What do I do? Well, not all hope is lost, okay? Change is always hard, especially for children. And part of that is because they don't know how to explain it, and they don't know what's wrong. So, but there are two things you can do to still provide predictability even when things are changing. Okay, we actually had to change. We had to move to a new location, new place, to live there for half a year before my son turned 2 years old, and it's actually a different country. So, but he adjusted well. Part of that is because the whole family is still together, and the routines are there, so it doesn't feel a lot of interruption. But the other one is because we did the right thing, because me and my wife are both psychologists. So the right thing is you explain what's going to happen next. What does it really mean? It means that, say for my son, my wife didn't go to any like conferences or anything, didn't leave him for over a year, but then she had to leave for a few days. We explained it to her, to my son, when he was like only 1 year old. I don't know how much he understood. He's he's a genius. He's smart. Well, but that's not the point. The point is we try to explain to him. We say, okay, mom is going to be away for a few days, and we point at the calendar. So she's leaving today. This is today, and that day she's going to come back. And in the middle, you're going to be, you can't see her for the next 3 days. But after you go to sleep 3 times after 3 nights, and she'll be back on that day. And my son adjusted really, really well to that. He didn't. It's like, because for brains, it's like if he expects mom to be back late at night and mom is not there, and he's going to get anxious, he's going to cry. He says, "Oh, where's mommy?" Well, then you tell him beforehand. During the day, when he's in good mood, you already told him. You say, "Okay, mommy is not coming back tonight, but she's going to come back in after 3 nights, then he's fine. He knows he knows what to expect. He knows that tonight is just you and me, or something else. So when you have major changes, explain it to them, and in a sufficient way, and also you want to prepare them for the changes. It also, because not only your life could change, his or her lives could be changing too, because say they go to kindergarten and they go to, let's say, grade school or elementary school, or middle school or high school. These are all changes. You're going to be new environment, new teachers, new friends, new content, new challenges. You have other potentially hazardous challenges, say bullying, and maybe rejection, ostracism, or whatever. There are all kinds of things out there. So what you can do to predict, to provide a predictability, it's hard to pronounce, is you prepare them for that. You discuss with them, you talk about what potentially could occur. Like me and my son, we talk all the time. I try to prepare him for how you interact with others, how others might react to you, or because of your look, because of your background, because of your characteristics. My son is very stubborn, and he's also a little bit too smart for his own good sometimes. So we talk about that all the time, and that helps him to prepare for the challenges. Does it always work? No. It's because you can't predict the future. No matter how good you think you are, how many you have experienced yourself, you can't predict all of them. But you help prepare. You basically, I usually start with saying, I don't know what's going to happen, but this could happen. If something like this happened, you could react that way, you could react that way, you could interpret it in different ways. So, and it often, like I said, it doesn't really solve the problem, but it does prepare him. So when he faces those challenges, he's better equipped. There are still challenges in life, but I'm so happy to see him growing and facing new challenges and finding his own ways to deal with that. And so that's also part of the predictability. So raising a child can be daunting sometimes, but I know some people say, oh, you just need to raise them with love. Love is good, but it's not enough. You also need knowledge. You need to understand their brain. We are human beings. We are brain. And to raise a successful child, predictability is the key. So you got to provide stability and predictability in their lives to prepare them for the future, for the unpredictable future. So that's the theme of today's topic, and I put the reference in the description if you want to check some of the scientific evidence on that. You can do that. And this is Two Legs Better, and this is my channel. I discuss all kinds of a variety of issues related to psychology, negotiation, and badminton, and other things. And please subscribe if you have gone this far. I hope you this is helpful to you in some ways. So please subscribe and spread and come back. And good luck to you.